Okay, I think we're ready. I think we're good to go. Miss Nika, are you good with your uh, workshop with your start as well?
I think so.
Okay, I'll give,
Hello.
I'll give the floor to you. Okay. Ayan. Hello, Miss Nika.
Hi everyone. Hello, hi Cams. Okay, sige. Should we start?
Yeah.
Wala na mag-start. Sige.
Yes.
Uh, okay, welcome everyone. I hope you're all having a great day so far, a great Saturday. So today what we'll do is we'll maximize or try to learn how you guys can maximize your frames. If you guys have not been able to answer yung type form that I sent out a week before, most of my content is actually based around that. So we'll have a little bit of time later and later at the end of the session if we want to be able to tackle other questions. But basically, my agenda for today is to be able to answer some of the things that you guys commonly ask, like how to present, what are the prototyping tips, and I think some also are very curious about the workflow. So I'll try to touch a little bit of everything today, but no promises. But if you're curious about anything, feel free to send a question and I'll try to cater it as much as possible. Okay. Okay, sige, I'll start. Hello, my name is Nika. I currently work as a lead UX designer. So as Cams mentioned a while ago, I work with Make Technology. Basically what I do is I lead a team of UX designers, being able to deliver different projects, different deliverables for different kinds of projects in different industries. So here's a sample of how big currently Make is. This was from last year, Christmas party. From 2017, I started there. 2017, we've grown to this big of a team. So there's a lot of growth there as well. Things we actually do activities wise, we do from discovery up until design. So mga mock-ups up until prototyping and then up until testing. So ito yung parang sample na UT test that we've conducted before. Okay, so ilan tayo sa is there a way for me to see yung participants or chat? No, no. Oh no. I'm not. Okay, sige. Okay, so actually, I just want to be able to break the ice since I also think we have time naman. And I want to get to know at least one or two things about everyone. So since we're around 20, diba? Okay. Introduce yourself. You can turn on your cam or not, that's fine. And then just answer this question na, what fictional world would you or place would you like to visit and why? So I'll start. Um, Actually, if there's a fictional world that I would like to visit, it would be the world of Witcher. So na-mention din yon. Both for the books and for the game, I'm a really big fan of the series. So if I have a fictional world that I would like to visit, I'm very, very fascinated by that. I would want to be, parang meron akong weird dreams about being a mage or a sorceress. So, yan. Who wants to go next? Kung wala, magtatawag ako sa list that I have here. Or Cams, do you wanna lead?
Sige. What fictional world or place would you like to visit and why? I guess I just started watching Startup, so I'd want to go to the sandbox so just to, see. Because apparently sobrang hindi daw siya true. Ayan.
It can be true naman.
Yes. Philippine sandbox, tara. Okay. What's
Okay.
to next? Ayan.
Wala.
And I nominate si Frances.
Hi, Frances. Hello.
Hi, Nika. I would like to be in the world of Queen's Gambit since that's my favorite Netflix TV show.
Yeah.
You're not a chess player. No. Be in the world lang. Carry naman. Okay, sige. Pass the ball na lang, Frances, to someone on the list.
Okay, sino ba? Celica.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wait, is she in the room? Ano na lang, Yulo.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
I'd like to be hello. I would like to be at the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Cute!
Nakikita ko si Goofy gumaganon.
Sino ang gagawin mo buong araw?
Masaya doon.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sige. Pass the ball, Yulo.
So I'd like to pass it on to Jason.
Jason.
Yes.
Hi, Jason.
Hi.
Option. Sige, go.
The world. I'd probably love to be in Star Wars since I've been a fan since I was a kid.
Oh my gosh, I love
Yeah,
Star Wars.
Yeah, it's what really inspired me to really develop my love for technology and anything science fiction.
Are you with the First Order or the Resistance?
Probably the First Order.
Max. Okay, thanks, Jason. Pass the ball.
I'll pass it to Bea Season.
Hi, Bea Season. Let's go.
Hello. Actually, same with Cam. So, yeah, sandbox as well.
Sandbox din. Naglarambulan kayo doon. Joke lang. Sige, Bea. Pass it. Pass the ball.
I'll pass it to Ace.
Ace. Let's go, Ace. Is Ace here?
Yeah, you can chat. Chat ko
Can't read
siya.
the chat. Is there a way for me to read the chat?
Okay, I can read it for you.
Yes, please.
Sige. Type mo lang Ace. No worries. Ayan. Sorry ha. Hello, I'm Ace. I'd love to go to Iceland.
No, I found it.
Ayan. Okay, you can pass the ball.
Iceland. Love it. Sige, game. Kanino? King Hordador.
Hi.
Hello.
Sa akin Witcher din yung first na nasa isip ko,
Sure.
but I'm always an Avenger fan, so anywhere sa place sa movie na Avenger.
Oh, MCU. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, sige. Thanks, King. Pass it na lang to someone. Random name in the list is fine.
John Paul.
John Paul.
Hello, I just joined the breakout. So, I guess the fictional world that I want siguro League of Legends kasi favorite game ko yan.
Nice. Sige, sige. Can you pass that na lang to someone?
I'm not sure kung hindi pa natawag si Frances to.
Done na. Another random name.
Marlon.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Marlon.
Yeah, hi. For me, I think doon ako sa world ng Ragnarok. Kasi hindi naman ako competitive na gamer, so gusto ko lang mag-chill doon.
Tatambay lang tayo doon. Very nice. Okay, thanks, Marlon. Can you pass it to someone?
Yan. Is CJ Pena done?
No, I don't think so. Hi, CJ.
So, actually, same lang din with Cams and Bea.
Oh my gosh, ang dami nyo. I love it. I guess we all know what we're all kind of into right now. Okay, sige, CJ, pass it to someone. Tatlo na si Sandbox. Hello? Matthew Cruz. Tama ba? Tama yung narinig ka. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
For me, I'd like to be in The Office.
The Office.
Seeing Michael Scott live. So,
fun yun. Feeling ko sobrang fun kapag ka-office mo sila. Office mates mo sila. Okay, thanks Matthew Cruz. Other Matthew. Tapos na ba sila? Who else hasn't been called? I know who hasn't been called. Jenny B. Jenny B, answer the question on screen.
Hello. Hi, Nika. Fictional world. The world of Sandbox. K-drama. Startup.
Okay, since kakapasok mo lang, Jenny B, I would just like to point out na 4 na kayo doon from the street.
Okay. Yay, fun.
Okay, sige. Let's pass it to Reg Disda. Since sabay kayo pumasok.
Sorry. Ito bang question na to?
Yes. Let's go, girl.
K-drama. Startup.
Oh my God. Mamaya, doon na lahat. Magkita-kita kayo doon. Joke lang. Okay, sige.
Very inspiring. Lalo na in our industry.
Yeah.
Relevant. Yeah. Okay, sige. Meron pa bang hindi natatawag? I think we have a couple pa. Sharina? Hi, Sharina. Are you there? Sharina. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Oh my gosh. Okay, I guess he's not there. Okay, sige. I'm going to move on. Thank you for indulging me. I just wanted to hear from everyone. So it doesn't seem like mag-isa lang ako nagsasalita dito. Okay, so today's session, we have 3 parts. First is we'll tackle the mindset about wireframes, which is what are wireframes. And then we'll have a little bit of activity where we'll try to identify a designer's goal given the wireframes that we're going to present. Part 2 is basically presentation tips. So how do you present wireframes? How do you go about it? I'll try to do a little bit of demo after that just to be able to see kung paano nagtatay in different pointers. And then part 3 is we'll have key prototyping principles. I do have a Figma file which I'll share with you guys later. You guys can duplicate it. But basically what I'm going to discuss are basic things that I feel like pinakakailangan when you're doing wireframes in prototyping or you're in your prototyping wireframes. So it's not advanced, so don't expect na may advanced animation stuff. But I'll try to cover as much na parang important when you're trying to present wires. Then we can have a Q&A later. I got some of your questions dun sa form. And then if we have more time, we can have more questions. Okay. Sige, part 1. What are wireframes? Does anybody want to answer? Or will I randomly call out sa... Next time wala na pupunta sa sa workshop ko. I will randomly call out sa list of participants. Okay, since I believe most of you guys have been doing wireframes for more than like at least 3 months, how would you define a wireframe? Or what is a wireframe for you? You can chat, you can talk. You can raise your hands. I can see it now pag nag-raise kayo ng hand. Wala? Oh my gosh. Okay, sige. Okay, if you ask me, wireframes are something that's done as a way to design website or any surface. Low fidelity prototype, that's correct. illustration of a page interface, almost there. Basically, when you're doing wireframes, yes, go. Keep it coming. Okay, so Gwyneth said it's a blueprint useful to designers think and communicate about the structure of the software or website you're building. It's actually very, very concise and very, very correct. So your goal when you're doing wireframes is to capture functionality and content requirements. It should be able to show layout, should start to show layout issues if there are, and can be used for basic usability testing. So wireframes can vary from detail to detail. So some can be as sketchy as this, as nice looking as that. Or some can be as bare as this one. It's still a legit deliverable, and it still can be something that can be called a wireframe. Or it can also be something as annotated as this one. So as you can see here, parang ano siya, mock-up siya of a website. But also, we have notes of the designer's side to see kung ano yung rationale for putting that kind of component there. It can also show or illustrate flows. So when you're doing mobile naman, or you're doing app, when you're doing on an app setting, pwede ito pakita mo how signups work, ano yung mga different processes that you want to cater to. So that could also work. Or it can also show information architecture. For example, so a reimagined kind of navigation for a website. How would you be able to map out these different things? The thing that I really want to stress about wireframes is that people kasi get stuck on it as a design deliverable when actually wireframes are really, number one, communication tools. They should be able to augment how you as a designer are able to communicate your point across. They should be able to support that point across. So if you're trying to achieve a particular goal with wireframes, you can zero in on that. If you're being stuck, I usually just try to ask, what is your goal? What are you trying to communicate? The wireframes, how detailed it is, how not detailed it is, will eventually follow. Okay, so standard, what you use it for, what you don't use it for. I guess this one, since lahat kayo may basic knowledge na, I just wanted to put it out there. Yes, you use wireframes when you're communicating something about the process, something about the content. Sometimes wireframes are very, very effective when you're trying to do copy, especially if niche yung parang market nyo, and different copies might mean different things to them. So, as usual, don't use wireframes when you're communicating na something about the brand, the aesthetic, yung mga graphical elements, yan. Yun yung sinabi ko kanina. So they're communications tool for first and design deliverable second. So yes, wireframes are very, very hardworking. You can use them for a lot of things. As I said kanina, when you do process structure, iba yung itsura niyan. When you do content strategy, iba rin yan. Ibig sabihin, pag content strategy, yung wireframes mo will have almost final copy. Functional copy direction, for example, in this flow, example lang, this is like a badly worded example. Verify your mobile number. Does that work as a headline for your audience? Baka naman they call your mobile number as something else along those lines of thinking. So it can look different. Okay. But give them a break too. So one of the things that I also encounter when it comes to wireframes is that a lot of people make it too detailed and then tinetest nila tapos hindi siya nagper-perform because of some things that can be answered easily by the UI. So I think one thing to give in mind is that later on, sige, after you mag-wireframes, when you do design, color is really a game changer. So for example, if you have a fully gray black and white wireframes. Tapos may isang button ka na colored. 9 out of 10 times, the user will tap on that colored thing because it's colored, not because they understood what it meant. So, it happens. Okay, sige. Para lang matest natin siya. I'm going to present yung mga wireframes that we did kanina. And then let's try to narrow down kung what do you think was the situation the designer was in kaya niya ginawa yung ganong wireframes. So that is not to say not all your wireframes are gonna look the same every time. Because you might have different goals when you're designing wireframes. This one, an example. If present to sa'yo ni designers, what do you think are they going to talk about in that discussion? Bawa, stakeholder ka, tas si designer pumunta sa'yo. And then they presented you something like this. What are you getting from this wireframe? What do you understand from this wireframe? Set of wireframes.
It's more about the content structure, the flow, and content strategy.
So yes, content strat. So if you see here, hindi na sila naglagay kung ano yung actual benefits, diba? They didn't have to do the copy mismo of ano yung value prop. But this one should probably take less time than if you flesh out mo siya lahat. But it gives the point across that, okay, we want the homepage to be able to display this, the value prop, the benefits, what it is, and how they can get started. So this is very legit. If you get buy-in on this, then you can zoom in na kung ano yung, ano yung pwedeng best way to illustrate yung value proposition. Depending on the benefits later on that you want to highlight, you can zoom in kung paano mo i-layout yung different benefits. So you don't have to think about every single little thing. But at least at this point, everybody is on the same page because if you were able to communicate the whole flow of the different pages you'll be designing. You can also put in annotations. Mga goals, sometimes we do this for goals ng mga different different projects as a way to like just guide the person you're communicating it to. Okay. Next. Oh no. Ay, mali. Okay. Next. What about this one naman? Do you think the designer is trying to like communicate with this wireframe? Layout. So hindi step up na siya from the content strat, diba? From this one you have very bears. This one you have some sort of layout, an idea. Kind of the same. So if you can see here, parang merong overview or hero. And then you have like yung benefits sa baba. You have a little blurb for like a message. Also shows not only yung content, yung flow ng content, na it goes from the different benefits up to the shows and events that you're going to show. But it also maps out a good idea of how it's going to look like. When do you use this versus this one? This one, you use it for super duper early stage na parang feeling nyo pwede pa magpalit lahat to. Use this kapag yung first stage is medyo alam nyo na. So when you go here, more often than not, alam nyo na how the flow of content will go. You just want to be able to narrow down how you will lay out the different types of content. So what to look for when you're doing here? Yung benefits, are we only putting 4? And are we doing, so we have a good idea. If we're doing 4, we only do red, parang short line, one-liner lang siya or one-line item. It's not a paragraph, it's not a full-on explanation. Up upcoming shows and events, naka-grid siya. So, it should signal you na medyo asset heavy siya. So, we have to make sure na okay yung assets. Appropriate ba siya? Maganda ba yung assets ng shows and events natin? Can we effectively show it here without making it look like putol-putol or tingi-tingi? So, yun. Some of the things you take into consideration. So as you can see here, you focus on different things. In here, you have an idea. It can be a big photo, so you need really big assets, or you can also do a video, so you have an idea to look for a video later on. Next, this one is from kanina. This shows process naman. So what are the things that you look for here? Aside from the overall flow na sign up siya, you also look for any information that you're asking from the user. Here, we're asking for personal information. We're asking for contact information. And then we're asking for the password. Is that enough information? Do we need more? Once you sign up and then verify, kaya ba siya? Can tech do this on time? And implement that on time? And then once you go, take me to the dashboard, kaya rin ba siya na diretso na siya sa dashboard? So this one naman, you're not trying to get buy-in on content. You're not trying to get buy-in on strat. You're trying to get buy-in on the implementation. So if you can see, you have to confirm if these are the information you just need and if kaya yung overall way that you're going to implement your onboarding process. Okay, is that clear? Do you guys have questions? Wala. Wala. For this one, wala. Okay, sige. Okay. Presentation, wireframes. As I said a while ago, I think the number one mindset that needs to be changed about wireframes is that it's really tied to your communication skills, in a sense. But they're really communication tools. So how should you present wireframes to be able to be more effective? I guess number one is you always start with a goal in mind. What do I want to communicate when I am already doing this wireframes? What am I trying to get their approval of? What kind of discussion do I want to lead? Also important to know, who are you talking to? So, for example, you're going to face different kinds of people in different projects. It's very, very important for you to be able to have a good idea of who you're trying to talk to. What language do they speak of, in a sense that what's their background? Are they more high-level stakeholders? Are they marketing people? Are they oriented in customer service? May IT ba in that meeting? May devs? What's important to them? Why? So that you'll be able to adjust or frame your communication or your agenda directly. So once you have, okay, so got an example. If you're talking to a high-level CEO, you're gonna wanna make it high-level then. You don't wanna make it too super detailed. You probably don't have to exhaust all of the flows, all of the states. You wanna keep the goal in mind. Yung big level goal nila, you wanna keep that in mind and you wanna make sure na nasasagot siya ng wireframes. If you're talking to content strategists, you have to be able to justify then kung paano nag-work yung content flow mo and how they're going to be able to help contribute to your work. If you're talking to tech team, you're gonna have to be a bit more less high level about the goal. You probably don't have to rationalize more on, hindi mo kailangan i-rationalize while this will acquire more signups. But you're probably gonna have to expound on how different states or different situations will be able to answer the same result at the end. So it's going to be different every time, but it's important for you that every time you want to be able to present your wireframes, you have a good idea of who you're talking to. Okay, once you're talking to them, my tip number one is to prime their brain, your audience's brain, and set the tone and brief them properly. What do I mean by set the tone and brief them properly? normally when we present wireframes, we have some sort of slide. Yung pinakita ko sa inyo kanina na we use wireframes for this, not for this. So that's kind of a way to do it as well. You're trying to set up the stage na sinaset mo yung expectations nila na you're going to see this. You're going to see gray boxes. You're going to see a very rough structure of the website. And this is what we want to look for today. We want to look for if the flow of content is okay with you guys, if how the user accomplishes their goal is okay with you guys. We don't have to look for colors. We don't have to look for fonts. So yon, it's basically before you even present anything, you set the stage. And try to make sure na yung mindset nila is properly like thinking about, hindi na sila nag-expect ng full-on mock-up with colors and everything. Yeah, okay, sige. The reason also for this is may mga companies or clients din kaya mga come across that are still new to the idea of wireframes. I think marami pa namang hindi familiar with how wireframes are. So this is very, very important so that they don't expect one thing and then see another. Okay. So this one, I think, just to keep in mind as well, I think this one naman, everybody who's very affiliated with wireframes would know that the better it looks, the more narrow the feedback. So sometimes you can make this use case. Oftentimes I don't, I just keep this in mind. Now when you're doing wireframes and you go super detailed, the feedback might cater to that detailedness. So if you want to talk about big things, keep it a bit loose and flexible. So yeah, I'll answer that, Yulo, later. Okay. Okay. Tip number 2 in presenting wireframes is to learn your patterns and expand your vocabulary. When you're doing wireframes, since you don't, parang ito yung counterpart na kapag nag-present ka ng visual design, gina-justify mo yung graphical elements. So when you're presenting wireframes, gina-justify mo yung patterns or rationale and implementation of why you're doing it. Example, we use modals if we don't want the user to necessarily get out of that page, but we want them to finish this process with one click. That's why the modal is most effective. So an example. Another example. We use a confirmatory component. Kapag mag-destructive actions tayo, we want to ask them if they are sure they want to do it. Example. So a lot of these, pwede siyang aralin in basic as best practices. But since you guys, most of you guys are already designers, alam ko na sa intuition naman siya in a sense. Sometimes you really just have to be able to articulate it in a sense na frame siya as a principle, frame siya as a best practice or an industry standard. A lot of references here you can get from material design. So pwede ka mag-start sa material design for like learning which patterns is good for that pattern. For which situation, sorry. But these will be able to give more depth into your wireframes na hindi lang siya, basta wala lang. Hindi lang siya, list kasi gusto ko list. Hindi lang siya grid, gusto ko list. O sige, for example, dun sa grid versus list. When you're doing e-commerce, when do we use grid and when do we use lists? Isip ako na magandang example. Okay. Pag e-commerce and we want to use grid, we want to be able to do, we use grid for like a browsing behavior. Most e-commerce use grid if enough na yung photo for them to make a decision. So that's why it's effective sa mga retail, Zalora, ganon. Kasi normally you just want to be able to see yung itsura ng product. And then you actually see more on the grid. Whereas if lists are actually more effective if your product actually needs more detail in order to sell. So you do a list pattern kapag kapag halimbawa you're comparing 4 different types of cameras. And then you want to be able to see in one page kung ano yung different specs ng cameras na yon. So that's more on a detailed decision-making standpoint. But if like clothes, now mostly everything is the same, mas effective si grid. So that's basically how you should be able to communicate your different layouts, quote unquote, or patterns, design patterns. Okay. Sige, I'll put up an example. This is an old work of mine, as in super old, so don't judge it, please. As in super old, like 2016, 17 old siya. And then I just rehashed it to be able to show you how I would now present these wireframes. I don't remember how I presented them before. Okay, so yung situation natin right now is I'm working with a grassroots corporation company, NGO. I'm working with an NGO who actually want to activate people for tech. So yon. And then the situation din natin now is that we want to be able to target skeptics of volunteering and want them to sign up to our events or to our meetings via this website. Okay, so if you want to search for the grassroots thing, this is Tech Solidarity. They're a grassroots corporation since 2016, but now they have different goals. So think that the year is 2017. I am working with Tech Solidarity, and we want to be able to redesign the website to target skeptics and sign up for our events. So if you were actually a stakeholder, I would actually set the stage by going through these things. I would establish the persona. I would establish kung ano yung status niya for the wireframes I'm about to present. So for example, now, the persona we're trying to cater to, or the group of people we're trying to cater to, are tech-oriented people, a community of like-minded individuals. And then the goal right now is to ease the doubts of a skeptic. Kasi diba skeptic is like, I don't really believe in volunteering. Mga ganon. Yun yung the things that we're trying to go through. How do we do that? Our goal for the homepage, at least for the homepage, is to legitimize our organization as a first time, in the eyes of a first-time visitor to the site. I want to be able to prompt that visitor into action and make it easy for them to do so. Hindi nila pag-iisipan. Ideally, if I were to map a super rough thing of the journey, it would be this. I would set up na it's a skeptic and it's their first visit. So they go here sa landing page and that's the home page. And then success will actually mean kapag nakapag-sign up na sila. So the emotions that we want to be able to evoke is that from curious or from being why should I trust them, to being proud. So you can set up that kind of stage. Along the way, being able to build trust and credibility with them. So this is like their current website. And then yung wireframes ko will be this one. Kita yung Figma? Yes. Tama ba yung pag-share screen ko? Figma siya na. Okay, yes. Okay, so ideally from the homepage, what we want to do is give like a big statement about our goal. So in here, it's an example, like a 3-liner, connecting tech creatives to their communities. And we want to be able to deliver that message well. How, in the second section, we want to be able to establish our reach. So we want to be able to say something along the lines of serving all these primary tech hubs in the country. Optional, we can actually list down the different cities we're in. Hopefully, if they're one of them, it becomes more relevant to them. This should lead them to the upcoming events, should they be interested at this point. If not, and they scroll down, we can actually have the next section as some sort of blog list, wherein we can place out articles that prove our credibility, our past oh my gosh, our past achievements, our past achievements, or we can also feature different speakers on our behalf. So this one, just to make sure that we are telling or sending the message now we're legit, look at these things we've done, look at the people who speak with us or for us, and you can be one of us. And then lastly, we give them that sort of hinge, call to action, wherein they can either go to events or actually diretso donate na. It's just 4 sections. It doesn't have to be very long, but what we really want to do is establish our goal, our mission, and our credibility. So that's why we want to be able to build that kind of trust. If they are already interested and they want to see upcoming events, they can click on this one. And then they'll see a choice of the list that we cater to. So this one, you retain grid, just so later on we should be able to be a bit more visual about it. So it can look a little bit more artistic as well. And then if they do find a city that's near them and they click on it, we want the events to show agad-agad. So yung listahan, it's going to be on the same page. They're not going to be taken anywhere else. They'll be able to see all of the events agad-agad of what they want to be able to attend to. So the CTA will also be there. As you can see, this is already a reserve. And once they click on it, we'll utilize the modal so that they can just type in their name and then reserve it directly. So once they reserve it, it will be a success. At this point in our journey, success na dapat to. Then back to events. So back to events, just so we don't give them like a dead end, and we should be able to circulate them around the website. So normally that's how I would do it. Some of the things that you should also consider is what's important to the person. So I'm assuming important sa kanila to be able to build that kind of credibility with skeptics. Important sa kanila na mabilis pa rin mag-sign up. That's why I always try to reiterate na second click, reserve a donut, and then success na agad. That kind of thing. So, yon. Okay. Sige. Questions? Prototyping. Prototyping question. Sige, later na lang yung questions. I'll go to the part 3, which is prototyping. Okay. So, prototyping tricks, hindi ko siya matatawag na tricks kasi for me, if you're creating a wireframe prototype, parang ito yung minimum eh. The one thing that I really look for when I'm doing or when I'm seeing parang wireframe prototypes is yung pag-use ng transition. Transition is your friend, transition is motion. Motion is your friend, transition is motion. What do I mean by this? If you can as much as possible mimic how it's going to look like in terms of transition, try to do so. Why? Because you're also guiding the brain on how they process it through motion. So I have an example. I'm going to send the link to this Figma prototype para you guys can copy link in the chat. So you guys can open it. I mean, completely optional. Okay, we're all here. Okay. Sige. Welcome everyone. Okay, so I have 4 main things. You can duplicate this page if gusto nyo akong sundan. But I will show you how we can improve or like yung bare minimum, what I believe would be the bare minimum for wireframes. You guys can just duplicate the page and work them with that there. Okay, sige. So number 1, modal. Okay, modals tayo. So let's see here, pag modals, this is perfectly fine when you're presenting it on a presentation, on a slide, on a slide. It's not fine when you're doing a prototype. Why? Sige, ano ko to. Sige. Yan. So, if pinlay nyo siya, if I just, like, for example, put this and add it here, link it. Normally, yun lang, diba? Just click there, let's lead to this. If you check it sa prototype, okay lang. But what if, okay lang siya, diba? Never mind. But what if, ito, 360, 375. Yung prototype ko, naka-viewport ako mismo na iPhone 8. So, dito ako sa prototype. I'm here watching my prototype. And then for example, I'm here. And then I click here and it goes up. So, yung little movement na yon, sometimes it still registers. So, what you really want to do is try to make it as realistic as possible. It's easy lang. So, ang usual workflow ko dyan is here. Tatanggalin ko to, modal, and put it in its own frame. And then, this one, I'll delete na, bye. And then yung i-connect ko dito, yung add, just go here, and then set as overlay. This is also available in Vision. I think overlay is also available in Vision. So why am I particular about this? Because it really mimics yung pinaka how modals work. And if you open overlay on the side pa, it gives you a lot of different options you can work with. Yeah, open overlay. And then you can set it as centered, or kung gusto nyo sa left, or kung gusto nyo sa bottom. Yon. And then close when clicking outside. Normally, di ba yun yung normal modal pattern, so check yan. And then you add the background behind the overlay. So I also like this because you can make everything consistent. So how does it work na? Dito. Better, di ba? And I can actually go here and hindi magpapalit yung likod. Here, I can tap here. So, Pina. Yeah, prototype. This becomes very crucial, especially kasi wireframes. Tapos, imagine nyo puro gray lang to lahat. Every little bit of movement na kaya nyong try to make it as near would help. Okay. Yan yung modal. Mabilis lang yan sa modal. Transition. So, I'll go here naman next sa baba. Home page here. Okay. So, I go here. Okay. So, right now, what we have, yung parang gusto nating mangyaring sa prototype is for the user to tap on filter. And then when you tap on filter, instant. Okay lang, but how would I improve it? Modal siya, diba? It goes on top. So again, I would remove this whole modal thing. What is this? I would remove this whole modal thing. Galing ko siya dito. And treat it as an actual modal. So modal should be on frame. You can just say this filter modal. And then by. Yeah. So what happens next? Dito ulit siya magka-click. So I'm gonna connect this component here na. And then same, open overlay sa side. Open overlay. What happens? Check here. Goes here. But as you can see here, it goes instant. So what I would do to be able to like help that whole thing, kasi pag instant mukha siyang hindi overlay. So I would actually just make use of a move-in transition. So yung gusto ko mangyari is this filters slowly goes up pa ganon. Ayan. Slowly goes up pa ganon. Diba? So, test. Okay na. Slowly go up na siya, ganon. Diba? Paano na yung space sa taas? I want to recreate that space sa taas. Okay, so if you want to create that space sa taas, you have to, yung frame niya, kailangan mong liitan para mag-scroll siya sa baba. So we want it here, diba? For example, we want it here. Ganyan. So parang dito siya sa taas, sa baba nito. So what we want to do right now is to make a frame kung saan mag-scroll yung content. So yung gagawin mo doon is you're going to put all the scrollable stuff. So ginroup ko siya lahat. I'll group it and just name it scroll content. Yan. Okay, and then tong si filter modal, I'm going to lessen the height. Viewport me. It's a lot of math. For example, ganyan. And then, on the right prototype, I'll activate vertical scrolling. So I just want to make sure that my frame is less than my viewport. How do I make sure? It's more than pa. This is an iPhone 8. So ang normal height ng iPhone 8 is 667. So you want to make sure that this is less than 667. 660. So hindi siya makikita. Bawasan pa natin. Gawin natin 600. There we go. Okay na. So meron ng space sa taas, di ba? Or hindi pa siya kita. Okay. Ano pa? Ano pang gagawin natin? So when we go here, yung overlay, close when clicking outside, overlay is around 40. Let's make it consistent. And then I would say yung position niya is bottom center. I think that's the one I missed. So make sure you have all of these. You can play around. For example, this one, pag kinlik mo to, i-demonstrate niya how it's going to look like. So I actually find this very easy lang naman. Move in, move out. Normally, it's the only thing I use. Move in, dissolve, and smart animate. Yun, the only thing I use. So, ganito na siya, yung ending niya. So, you see, when I do filter, it's here. So, again, yung pinaka-note doon is transition, bottom, move in from the bottom below. And then, if you want to make something scrollable, make sure yung frame nyo mas maliit dun sa content mismo. Ganun lang siya. Okay. Next is yung horizontal scrolling. So again, it's the same. It's going to be the same principle. When you're doing horizontal scrolling, you want to make sure that your frame is smaller than the content. This is 375. Yeah, okay. So, ang gusto natin mangyari is mag-scroll to left to right, diba? Nag-scroll na pala siya. Okay, so what would I do in this case? What did I do in this case? Si horizontal scroll, naka-sariling frame na siya. And then, what I would actually do next is, yung dalawang article, yung dalawang card na to, I would group it. I would apply auto layout on it. So, in here, sa right side, I'll add auto layout. Para pag nagdagdag ako ng bago, it's gonna automatically apply the spaces in between. What do I mean by that? So, in here, sa prototype, ganyan siya. Works well. Copy-paste ko lang to. May pangatlo na ako. Okay. Workflow-wise, what if gusto kong palitan to? I'd actually have to put it out. Yan. I change it. And then, put yung width mo is 375 for a mobile. Balik mo yung width ng frame to 375. Palit natin. That's normally how I would do it. So, yun na. Tatlo na siya. That's horizontal scrolling. Okay? Last two. Smart Animate. Smart Animate is kind of like magic move from Keynote. Sobrang game changer siya for me when it first arrived. Because I feel like sobrang parang sobrang gusto ko yung sobrang flexible niya. Yung problem ko with Smart Animate is minsan matrabaho siya sa workflow. So for example, this one, I'll put the prototype here. For example, this one, I want yung gusto ko yung transition na this one, pag nag-tap ako, nag-change ako ng tab, lilipat to pa ganun. Tapos ito, papasok pa ganun. Ayan. So how do I do that? Okay, sige, step by step tayo. Iba na yung viewport ko. Oh no. I will change that real quick. 360. Yan, okay. So for example, ito. Ayan na. Yung first step, isa-isa muna tayo. So I want to link this here. And I want to link this back here. Link ko yung tabs with each screen. So I link this. Oh my gosh, ano nangyari sa akin transition? Wala. Reset natin to instant. Okay, so yan, diba? It's okay, it gets the job done. But if you want to use Smart Animate for it, this is what you have to do. Smart Animate operates on the basis that your layers have to have the same layer name. So this is content 1. I'm going to group this and call it content 1. Yan. And this is going to be content 2. Group ko siya. Content 2. In this screen, si content 2, technically si content 2 is somewhere here. Kasi gusto natin na mag-move pa ganon si content 2. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep in mind na ang viewport ko has a 360 width. Diba? So I'm going to get content 2, copy it here, and then sa width niya, di pala width, sa X niya, I'm gonna add yung 360 na width. Where is it? So it's here na. So that when I go transition here, this moves pa ganon. Okay? How? Okay, balik tayo sa prototype. Ganito siya. Ay, hindi. I'm gonna change this to Smart Animate. So yun. Again, review. So this one, what we wanna do is we want this one to come from the right side of the screen para mag-transition siya pa left. Para mukhang nag-slide siya to the left. So, nilagay natin siya off-screen to the right. So, sa prototype, when I tap on Active Advances, it shows na. Diba? Kita nyo na yun. Kita nyo. Okay. What happens here naman? So, this one, pupunta siya. Pag nag-tap ako pa ganun, pupunta siya dito sa left side. Diba? Punta siya sa left side. So, I'm going to get this, copy this, paste it here, and then minus 360. So, you add 360 minus 360 or whatever yung width ng viewport niya. And then make sure that your transitions are in Smart Animate. Okay. Pag nagsa-Smart Animate kayo, one thing I always do is try to check kung naka-connect ba yung components. So the thing you can do that is just hover on it. And then if nakikita nyo yung sa other screen na meron ding box, it means it's connected. So the fact that may light screen dun sa tab ko sa taas means it's the same group name. So it's going to connect yung animation, yung animation niya dun sa component na yan. And then this one, so you can see, parang may weird floating box dun sa left side ni Android 5. So that means dun siya mapupunta after. And then if I hover on this one naman, merong weird floating screen sa right ni Android 2. So that means doon siya mapupunta after. That's usually just how I check for like make sure na hindi sabog si Smart Animate. And then if I go back here sa prototype, test na natin. Ayan na siya. Mukha na siyang gumagalaw. And then. So, see yung mga ganong little details and movements. It actually helps a lot when you're presenting prototype. So you don't have to like explain na ganito yung mangyayari, ganito yung transition or yung animation. If you can show it in transition, it's gonna be easier for you to like show it than talk about it. Another smart animate here is yung pag-expand, so accordion. So what if yung gusto kong interaction here is if I tap on this one or on this component, mag-expand siya to this one. And then if I tap here again, babalik siya doon. Okay, how the Carabao? Dito, important na pag nag-smart animate nga tayo, I think naka-smart animate na to do. Hindi pala. Hindi. Pag nag-smart animate tayo, matching yung names. So again, I will just link it first and then choose smart animate here sa animation and then check. So this one, yung box niya, merong naka-highlight, tama yung box sa side. This one, tama. So meaning from here, magiging ganito, magiging ito siya. Nakita niyo yung purple square. It means it corresponds to that. So you have to check everything. Why? Para ito, magmumukhang gagalaw siya pababa. So if this is connected to this one, magmumukha siyang bababa siya. Ganun. Same with this one, mukha siyang bababa. Okay, what if hindi? Like for example, palitan ko yung nito. Lagyan ko ng 0. Ay, yung layer name. Ano yung tsura niya? Go here to prototype. So nakita niyo yung disconnect dun sa yung disconnect sa total amount due. Hindi siya mukhang nag-move unlike yung November 30. Easy fix. Let's put this back. Then, when you test it out, yun. So, mukha na siyang nag-expand. Then, you do the same if you want to collapse. Yan. OC na lang. I did 2 payments left. Dapat. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, never mind. Sige, hindi mo palitan. Okay, sige. That is, I would say probably if na-master niyo smart animate and transitions, mag-upgrade yung wireframes niyo. Okay. Okay, sige. So, that's prototyping for you guys. I'll move to the next. Okay, sige. Before I go to these questions here, do you guys want to ask? You can start asking questions, clarifications, and reactions. Yeah, I'll go to stuff here. Okay, sige. Okay. Some of these I got from dun sa Typeform. So, common questions that I also get a lot. Number 1, where does the lo-fi stop and the hi-fi begin? I would say hi-fi, okay, kung gusto niyo ng baseline answer, hi-fi begins when you add color and branding into it. That's basically it. Minsan, ma-encounter niyo pa yung term na mid-fi. Lo-fi, mid-fi, hi-fi. Technically, they're all the same things. They're designs. They serve different purposes. So, As I said kanina, when you're doing wireframes, you have to think of a mindset that you're planning something structural. You're not worrying about the specifics of everything yet. Yeah. Normally, pag sinabi mo lo-fi, walang color, hindi pa final yung copy. Pagdating sa hi-fi, final na yung copy, pero wala pa rin color, yung ganon. It can all get very messy. So if you want like a specific like lo-fi, mid-fi line, lo-fi, hi-fi line, it's probably color. Probably color. Yun. I hope that answered it. I mean, feel free to like reply if feeling no hindi siya clear. Sige. Question number 2. Okay, this one this also happens to me. What do I do when my mockups end up very different from my wireframes? It's supposed to end up pretty different naman. It's fine, don't worry. It's okay, don't worry. As I said, when you're doing wireframes, what you're trying to do is get a little bit more structure. So, sige. Example nito. Oh no, where did I get that? Okay, sige. So, example nito. This is a very detailed wireframe na. Yeah. Very detailed wireframe. I'm going to tell you sobrang iba nung itsura nung hi-fi nito. I just can't show you guys. But it happens, especially when you're designing. Maraming things that will come up when you're doing high fidelity na. Like, hindi pala mukhang balance pag in-add ko na yung elements. Ay, ang sikip, anong gagawin ko? You're free to be able to make adjustments accordingly. Since it's supposed to be an iterative process, you're supposed to be able to keep on improving on it. What's important pagdating sa wireframes is that you make sure that each element kind of captures the essence you presented during the wireframe stage. What do I mean? Upcoming shows and events, pinaka-idea nito is ma-showcase mo siya and they will be able to see to the event calendar. So if may non-negotiable sa hopper section, it would probably be that, the kind of content and UCTA. Is it still able to lead the users where you want them to be led to? So, yon. Everything else, the visual aspects, how big the text is, it can change later on. It will change. It will more likely change later on. Yung treatment ng ganito, this one end up being very, very different wherein we had the creative freedom to like overlay some big image tas mas maliit yung section for text. You have that creative freedom and go use it. Just make sure na yung essence na ginawa nyo ng wireframes, which is, for example, we want them to be able to do this through the section. It's still there. I would say parang yun yung pinaka bare minimum when you're trying to reconcile things. I don't have titles. Okay, sige. Okay. Related question, do wireframes have to be gray all the time? Is it okay to leave out UI loss when creating them? And I think yung specific UI loss na mentioned here was examples how green is meant for success, red is meant for errors, tapos may yellow for warning. I would say 99% of the time, it's better to have it gray all the time. Kasi you're not focusing on, so you can focus on that. Yung UI loss of, like for example, yung color association, it can come in later. So what I said kanina, now when you do test that wireframes, you have to keep that in mind. Na sometimes, it's not going to be effective sa wireframes kasi wala kang color. And that's perfectly understandable. So for example, hindi na-catch ni user na error pala yun kasi hindi red. Gets nyo na yun. Dapat. Sa hi-fi siya masasagot. There are really things that only color can answer. That's something you have to take in consideration, especially when you're testing wireframes, especially when you're testing for usability sa wireframes. That is to say, may use talaga si wireframes and si hi-fi. And they both serve very different purposes. Not one is better than the other, but both are very specific in their needs and what they can help you with. So, yeah, that's question number 3. Okay. Similar question, but I think we've touched on it naman na kanina. What happens when visual elements require specific measurements that conflict with the space allocated for them and lo-fi wireframes? So, yung same line of thinking ko, you can have that creative freedom as long as you retain the essence of that section or component of what you're trying to deliver. It's okay to like make it bigger than the wireframes. If it serves the purpose, go lang. Your design mockup should be able to build on top of the wireframes. It's not supposed to be restricted by the wireframes. It's supposed to improve it. So if you find other ways visually na ma-improve yung goal, go ahead. It's okay. You don't have to strictly follow it by the T. Okay. Okay. Number 5, how can I maximize my workflow so I don't take too much time in doing wireframes? I think the number one thing that helped me is mag-grocery shopping. So, oh no, I can't show this. So, punta kayo sa community tab ng community files ng Figma. Look for UI, UX, UI. Okay, wait lang. Let me pause and load something. Load something on my screen. Okay. Okay, if wireframes lang ang gagawin mo, I would normally load 2 things. This one, it's an icon resource. And it has all the icons I can think of, both inline and solid. Normally at that point, you don't need, normally at wireframes naman, you don't need something super detailed. If tamad pa ako, sometimes I just use a circle for an icon and just say, oh, icon yan, and then text. Yan. Normally, pwede rin ganyan. And then one thing I also load frequently is this one. It's a random wireframe component kit. I would just get the things I need, and then I'll copy it to my file. Like example here, copy ko siya. Yun siya. Then I would use it. Ganun. This saves a lot of time for me. I hope it helps. I think ito yung number one thing that I normally do. Especially yung mga input na ganyan. Nakakatamad kasi siya gawin every time. And so this one is more product-oriented. There are website-oriented na ganito rin, wherein they list down, wherein they parang list down different kinds of sectioning, different kinds of components you can use on a website. So both are applicable. Tas mag-grocery shopping lang ako kung anong kailangan ko. And then paste it there. And then later on, I'll just, if kailangan na medyo mas customized, and then I edit it a bit. Yeah. Whatever tool you end up choosing, I think for most of it naman, may ganong similar resource to be used. Like I've tried Adobe XD before. May mga plugins sila for icons where you just install the plugin and then you can access all of the icons. So that also works. Those kinds of things are actually really helpful. Okay, sige. Actually, yun na yung end of questions that I got. I think we can move dun sa one you guys sent in today. Did I stop my screen share?
Ayan. Okay, I think we can go to the Slido as well. We have here Miss Jillian also to help us with the questions. So yeah, maybe we can run through the questions lang din for here. Okay. Do you want it to go diretso na lang, like one at a time?
Okay lang. Okay lang. Sige.
Okay. Sige. First of all, amazing talk, amazing workshop, Ms. Nika. So thank you for that. And let's proceed as well with the questions. We have quite a lot here. Okay. So the first question is, are there stages of wireframes to follow before actually going to the next stage, which is prototyping? Ayan.
I wouldn't say there's a specific stage because I do believe na prototyping can happen in all of the stages in a sense. So sometimes you do yung level of level of prototyping that I showed kanina when you want to present or test the wireframes. If you're going to wireframe or if you're going to present parang high fidelity, ibang kind of prototyping naman yung gagawin mo dun eh. Doon darating, doon pag-iisipan mo yung parallax, kung paano yung lalabas yung ganito, movement na siya, animation, to be able to like hone in on that part of the aspect. I would say though, na kapag halimbawa wireframe lang, it's best to do it like last. As in before presentation, before you're testing it, para wala na masyadong edit sa wireframe itself. I hope that answers that.
Okay, does that answer it? Whoever asked?
Oh my God. Pressure.
Dagdag kayo ng Slido questions if you have follow-up questions as well.
Yes.
Okay.
For the second question, can you give an example of what to communicate when communicating wireframes to content strategists?
Content strategists, see, I would say example is for sure you'll have to explain yung flow of content. You might have to go a little bit on the, you might have to dive a little bit on the tone as well. Normally kasi when content strategists come into the team, they really have an idea na of what to put in a website. So what you want to be able to do is build on top of it then. If they have a good idea, okay, ito yung mga content na ilalagay natin sa homepage. And then you can like try to fix kung ano yung, paano siya mag-flow. And then later on, probably sa kanila babato ulit yung copy. You can give them also guidelines. Okay, so for example, benefits, let's do this layout. So meron silang idea on how to like phrase or word, as well as how long, how short it could be. Or if they should prepare like, for example, yung value proposition, should they prepare a one-liner, super big one-liner, or pwede bang parang sakto lang headline, tas may subcopy, ganon. So, yeah, when you're doing like content strategy, it's really more on the flow and a little bit on the structure when you're of the content itself. Okay.
Thank you for that. Okay, for the next question, do you do wireframes when projects are on a tight deadline, or do you proceed to create hi-fi mockups? How does this affect communication with stakeholders?
Okay. Hi-fi on a tight deadline is inevitable, I believe. That said, I feel like every project na ginawa yon, parang may konting, sana nag-wireframes tayo nung una at the end. So, if you can still do wireframes, kahit sabihin mo sobrang rough, I would suggest do it. It doesn't have to be like yung super detailed kind. Para, for example, you're working on a team then, para everybody's aligned. That's the only thing you want to be able to do. Na everybody's aligned at this stage lang. Communication with stakeholders, you have to be straight then as well. Try to be as straight as possible about how it looks like kapag hindi kayo nag-wireframe. Meaning, hindi kayo makakapag-plan exactly kung ano yung ganitong mangyayari, kung ano yung lalabas dun sa layout itself. So you probably have to hold longer discussions kasi you're going to be on a hi-fi kasi you're gonna want them to keep talking about the flow as well and hindi lang yung hi-fi aspects. It happens. I think it's pretty effective naman, especially though if you have like an established design system already. So, yeah, may mga ganong times na you can go straight to creating like hi-fi. But I would say if you can, kahit 1 to 2 days, try to do it just so you can plan everything out. Okay.
Thank you for answering that question. For the next one, can you give tips when presenting wireframes to developers?
Okay, developers. If you're presenting it to developers, I would say try. I guess yung biggest tip is you have to be more extensive. You have to extensive sa flow na pati yung littlest state, if possible, kaya nyong expound yung flow mismo. Kasi, yeah, especially kapag wireframes na may mga features na parang you just saw somewhere. For example, nakita niyo yung flow na to on this website, bring that website and show it to them so they can have an idea if hindi siya kaya sa wireframes. Normally, that's what I would do. Not even wireframes, but sometimes kapag websites mismo or like hi-fi mismo. If you can have references where they can see it, I think that would also work well. Pero mostly kasi pag developers, they're really just concerned if kaya ba to o hindi. So I would just try to explain it na gets talaga nila. Yeah. Bring references if you can.
Okay, thank you for that again. Okay, for the next question, who sees it first, the prospect users during the initial usability test or the client? And a follow-up question is, where stage should you be at to present to the client?
Normally, it's normally the client who sees it first. Why? Because you also want to get the buy-in of the client and then do the usability test. I find it easier that way, so that after magkasundo na kayo ni client, then next na sa usability test. So you're kind of testing already a collaborated work of you and the client before you even show it to users. And then once you get the feedback from the users, you can go back to the client and discuss the feedback and then discuss the next steps forward. I just find it parang yun yung workflow that's the most collaborative. I don't know if collaborative is the right word, but parang yun yung mas sensible way of to go about it. And then what stage should you be to present to the client? If it's I would say it depends. If it's a very formal client, normally you want it to be somewhere na kompleto na. Somewhere na medyo well thought out na yung flow mo, well thought out na yung medyo buo na talaga siya, medyo luto na siya. But there are clients who are a lot more flexible naman, and I would actually take that as an opportunity to show earlier drafts and get their opinion. Kasi it also gives you an idea of where their mind is at, and you kind of also a way for you to get to know how they think. So you see kind of also a vision of what they're also seeing.
Okay, thank you for answering the question. Okay, for the next one we have is, in creating a wireframe or prototype, what view do you usually do first? Mobile view or desktop view?
Depends on the ask. That's such a non-answer. Yeah, it really depends on the ask. Normally we do desktop for web na una. And then, but yeah, may mga projects na it's really restricted to mobile. So mobile lang siya. But yeah, minsan kasi they ask na mobile una, so we do mobile first. But normally naman, mas sanay pa rin clients to see it on desktop. So that might be a bit more beneficial.
Okay. And then wait, we have a few more questions. Okay, for the next one, do you do wireframes when projects are on a tight deadline, or do you proceed to create hi-fi mockups? How does this affect communication with stakeholders?
Yeah, I think this one we answered now a while ago. Diba? Basically, yung long story short is projects na diretso hi-fi, it's inevitable. But if you can, at least 1 to 2 days, try to do it para na may wireframes para makapag-plan kayo. At the very least, kahit internal siya, na you're all on the same page.
You. And then we have time for a few more questions. Do you do wireframes when? Oh wait, sorry, that's already read. How do you explain to your client when there are changes in the layout that make the prototype look different from your lo-fi wireframes?
I'm guessing this is for hi-fi na, diba? Or changes in the wireframe prototype. Is that not sure. If hi-fi na, again, it's really more of being able to articulate the process. That's very important. So if it looks different sa hi-fi prototype, I'm guessing hi-fi prototype siya. If it looks different on the hi-fi prototype, I think most clients naman, they're very kaya nila, naiintindihan naman nila na halimbawa, it has to be this way kasi when we tried this one and that one, it didn't work out, it was a bit unbalanced, nawawala yung focus on X, ganun. Normally, that's how I would go about it. But if it meant na your low-fi wireframes look different sa prototype, mismo ng low wireframes, I'm not sure if I understood it. Yeah. No.
Okay, we can move on to the next question. What do you prefer to do your wireframes? Pen and paper or Figma?
Figma. I do pen and paper if I'm stuck. That helps. If I do pen and paper if I'm stuck, and then kapag medyo gets na siya in my head, I transfer to Figma. Just because it's easier to track and it's easier to turn it into like a prototype.
Thank you for that. Next question is, how do you communicate with someone who doesn't think wireframes are important because of a tight deadline?
Doesn't think wireframes are important because of a tight deadline. Normally, yung bargaining chip mo kasi dyan is you're gonna take away 1 to 2 days to do the planning so that mas efficient kayo later on. So normally how you would phrase it, or I would try to phrase it, is that just let me plan this for the wireframe. Let's try to narrow down the content, the process, the structure, the features on the wireframes. And then I'll be more efficient when I go to hi-fi. That's normally how it works. Normally, that's how I would try to communicate. But again, as I said, hindi kasi lahat hindi pa lahat familiar or know or loves wireframes. I love wireframes. So it does take a bit of pushback to do so. There will be some na medyo stubborn. But if I were to try to go about it, that's how, parang bargaining chip siya. I'll focus on this para I will be more efficient later on. Parang ganun.
Okay. For the next question, how do you explain to your client when there are changes in the layout that make the prototype look different from your lo-fi wireframes?
I think okay. I think same answer na parang if it's a change from lo-fi to hi-fi, it's better to explain your process. It's okay. Yeah, but if lo-fi to hi-fi, it's better to explain your process through it. Na bakit naging from yung TLDR ng point A to point B. So if Okay, sige. I'm so sorry. I think we can move to the next.
Okay, moving on to the next question. Can you suggest references or resources on prototyping animations?
References and prototyping. I'll follow up with this. I don't have like any top of mind. When it comes to prototyping animations, I do have one reference, as in yun yung forever reference ko on animations. It's a Medium article. I will have to check the link. But I think yung pinaka rule of thumb when it comes to animations and motion is try to make it as physically correct as it is in the real world. How you feel like it will move when it moves, if it's a physical object, you have to try to imitate that. But I'll follow yung the Saisang Medium article that explains it so much better than I did when it regards to animations.
Okay, thank you for that. For the next question, is it okay to skip the wireframe creation process in designing a website?
It's really up to you. I think it's okay, but I also think kasi the wireframe is like your planning stage. And it's really helpful if you want to be able to narrow down the things you're working on later. The biggest downside lang naman if you don't do wireframes is you'll be editing so many things later on, all at once. At least if you do the wireframes first, you already have a good idea of what's locked in, and then you can focus on other things later. So, yeah. Resource I showed a while ago. Yes, I can.
Okay, in relation to that, someone is also asking if you can share the copy of your slides.
Yeah, sige, I will share. Kanino ko siya i-share sa and all of the other resources.
Maybe you can share it and send it later na lang to one of us.
Yeah, and you can share it.
Yes.
Try to drop boxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then one of the last questions na talaga. For a project, what does your design team compose of?
For a project, what does your design team? Well, at Make, we have 3 tracks of designers. So either you're a strategist, you're an IXD, interaction designer, or you're a visual designer. So it kind of depends. May mga project na heavy on the visual need, so we actually assign like probably one visual designer and one strategist. But there are projects who have really big interaction needs, like mga big mobile app, mga big mobile app projects. Sometimes we have to put in more interaction designers for that. May mga projects then there's a mix. I think right now we're trying to balance and do a mix of an interaction and a visual designer both in the same team. Strategists, they usually may isang strategist for one project most of the time. They do the discovery part. So sila yung mag-research, and then before they hand it actually, not hand, but before the actual designing phase started, si strategist muna yung may time to shine. And then we work on the project. Oh yeah. We have three kinds.
Thank you for that. And for our last question, how long do you do lo-fi and hi-fi wireframes?
Lo-fi siguro depends. Well, pacing. Sa pace ng project, it's actually going to depend sa pace of project. But I guess on average, we'd do normally a few flows a week. A few sets, like 2 to 3 flows a week. And then yung timeline for the high fidelity is around a week and a half to 2 weeks for what it takes na 1 week sa lo-fi. Yeah, kasi minsan sa hi-fi, dun mo na-flesh out yung different states eh. Mga ganun error and stuff, or mga different success pages. So, normally, when you want to allocate time, it's like 1 C lo-fi, 1.5 to 2 times 1.5 to times 2 C hi-fi. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, then that seems about it. Thank you, Ms. Felicie, for your wonderful insights. Let us now return to the main room to formally close the event.
Okay, thank you.